couple of weeks ago, I injured my back. And if you've ever done that, if you've ever had a recurrent back problem, then you'll know how debilitating it can be. I went from feeling strong and flexible, well, relatively flexible, to really struggling to stand up, feeling like my back was going to collapse at any time. Now, I do know this problem. I haven't had it for quite a long time, but I know it. I've been checked out. I know that it's going to pass. And yet, still, I had some anxiety around it. And I started to do all the sorts of things that I thought I could to fix it. Rolling with a foam roller, using balls to massage it, to stretch it, stretching in various ways and movement practices. And with my background in body work and acupuncture and this sort of thing, I know quite a few things. It would work, and then it would go back, and then it would get bad again, and then it would go back, and I try something else, and I keep doing this. Eventually, I gave in, and I tried just being with it. And as I did that, I could start to feel this fear in me, this rigid, immobile fear. Now, I don't know what it was attached to. No idea. I mean, there are circumstances in my life I'm perhaps going to be moving, and that's quite a lot to organize. Other things maybe. Didn't really matter. It was the attending to what was actually there, not in a kind of, I'm going to find out what you are so I can fix you, but just literally being with it. That enabled this terror really to come to the surface. And as it did, I tracked it, tracked the sensations, tracked what it was doing in my mind. It wasn't pleasant. And the moment I did that, I started to feel a little bit of a kind of relief that something was softening. And I thought about it quite a lot afterwards. It didn't go immediately. It wasn't like one of these miracle things, but that was the turning point that allowed me to actually really start to find a way to help myself recover quite quickly. And 2 days later, I was. So it was quite quick, but not a miracle experience. And I started to think about it, and it made me realize that when we have a reverse, like a bad back or an accident or something, it is experienced in our systems like a threat. We will get activated in the same way that we could with an external threat. And in this case, it's actually happened, and it is a survival thing. If I were out in the wild and I had a bad back like that, I'd be in terrible trouble. I'd be easy pickings for just about any animal. So in that situation, I'm naturally going to revert to my habits of self-care. They're just going to come up like that without me thinking about it. That's, in the words of Stephen Porges, who's done this work with polyvagal theory, that's how neuroception works. Perception of threat, very fast. Even in this case, it's an internal thing which has gone on. There's that immediate, what do I do? So, of course, I try and fix in the way that my patterns have suggested. And similarly, although those neuroceptive fight, flight, or freeze type patterns are very useful in their context, in a situation where you're trying to recover from an injury like this, it's not going to help. Not going to help at all. So I found that moment of being with the discomfort, really being with it, was what helped me to come out of that fight, flight, or whatever you want to call it, experience that I was having, and allow myself to actually let other parts of my physiology take over and help me and help my mind get through to the clarity that it needed to do things that were really going to help it, and to do them in a way that was really going to help it. So I found that instructive, and perhaps the next time you have some kind of accident or injury, or, you know, once you've made sure that you're actually okay, got yourself checked out, maybe you can explore working with it in that way and see what happens, see if that actually helps you in the way that it helped me move towards some greater ease.